Welcome to this short video lesson on the effects of exposure to extreme temperatures. Extreme temperature, whether heat or cold, can increase the risk of accidents in the workplace by causing fatigue. A worker exposed to extreme temperatures may have a hard time concentrating on work and may ignore safety control measures. Let's look at heat stress first. Heat stress is of great concern in the workplace, caused by a combination of factors and tends to increase body temperature, heart rate, and sweating. Sweating is a natural reaction of the human body to heat stress. It's one of the forms of thermoregulation used by the human body to keep the temperature at a required level. What are the sources of heat stress? Heat can be absorbed by the human body by radiation, convection, or conduction from external sources. Heat is also generated inside the human body through metabolic activity. Metabolic heat generation is the heat generated from within the body when we do any kind of work. And in some cases, metabolic heat is the source of greatest concern since it has a potential to overheat the body, particularly when there is any intense physical activity or we are lifting any high loads or we are performing some very intense work. The human body temperature is regulated for survival between 97 degree Fahrenheit and 100 degree Fahrenheit, and there is a complex system of thermoregulation which helps maintain the body temperature in this range. What are the health-related issues of heat? Heat rash, heat edema, heat cramps, heat syncope, dehydration, heat exhaustion, heat stroke. These are all the problems of heat. Heat rash, also known as prickly heat rash, is likely to occur in hot, humid environments when sweat is not easily removed from the surface of the skin, causing heat rash. Signs and symptoms include skin eruptions, itching red skin, and reduced sweating. This usually happens because of the infection of the sweat pores by some bacteria. Heat edema or swelling occurs among people who are not used to working in hot conditions. Swelling is often most noticeable in the ankles and feet. Heat cramps caused by profuse sweating and heat followed by drinking large quantities of water. What happens is that we do not adequately replace the body salts that are lost through sweating. Signs and symptoms include painful muscle cramps and incapacitating pain in the muscle. Heat syncope. The main cause of heat syncope is pooling of blood in the legs and skin from prolonged static posture and heat exposure. Signs and symptoms of heat syncope include blurred vision, fainting, etc. Dehydration. If the amount of water leaving the body is greater than the amount being taken in, then it leads to dehydration symptoms. Signs and symptoms in later stages include fatigue, weakness, dry mouth, and the loss of work capacity. Heat exhaustion, a loss of large amounts of fluid and salt through excessive sweating. It leads to fatigue, weakness, blurred vision, dizziness, high pulse rate, high sweating, low blood pressure, pale face, clammy skin, collapse, nausea, vomiting, headaches, and a slightly increased body temperature. This could be the first stage leading to heat stroke. Heat stroke is a medical emergency. The person must receive medical attention as soon as possible. It occurs when the body's temperature regulation system fails. The human body has a thermoregulation system, and when that fails and the sweating and the other mechanisms of thermoregulation are unable to handle the heat stress, that's when you get into a heat stroke. Signs and symptoms include chills, restlessness, irritability, mental confusion, red face, disorientation, hot, dry skin, no sweating, erratic behavior. The person may become unconscious, and a core body temperature may raise beyond 104 degrees centigrade. What are the general control measures? Engineering control, general ventilation, local exhaust ventilation, air treatment or cooling, insulating hot surfaces, heat shields, reducing humidity in the air. General control measures, administrative controls, acclimatization, fluid replacement, work rest cycle, and in some cases the replacement of the salts lost through sweating, which is in the form of oral rehydration salts. They could also help you replace the electrolytes lost through sweating. Then we also have PPEs. Complete enclosure from neck to feet can stop the skin from absorbing radiant heat if the heat is coming from outside. Auxiliary cooling options in extreme cases may include ice vests, water-cooled garments, circulating air, and wetted terry cloth coveralls or cotton suits. So these are cases when we have extreme heat and there is no alternative but to provide some protective clothing to the person. Now let's look at cold stress. Cold stress again comes from radiation, convection, conduction, and also through the evaporation of sweat from the human body. In evaporation, heat and fluid are lost to the environment from sweating and respiration. There can be a huge amount of fluid loss due to cold stress. Health-related issues of cold, chilblains, immersion injuries, hypothermia, frostbite, and let's understand the wind chill factor. Chilblains is an itchy and tender red or purple bumps that occur as a reaction to cold temperatures. Chilblains results from the shutting down of the blood vessels in cold conditions. These can be aggravated by exposure to the sun. Small arteries and veins in the skin constrict from the cold, and rewarming results in leakage of blood into the tissues and swelling of the skin. Immersion injuries, also known as trench foot. Immersion injuries result from prolonged exposure to cold weather, usually 12 hours or longer, at temperatures of 50 degrees to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 10 to 21 degrees centigrade, or for shorter periods at or near 32 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 0 degrees centigrade, which is the temperature of ice. The injured part becomes cold, swollen, waxy white with cyanotic burgundy to blue spotches, and the skin has no feeling and deep musculoskeletal sensation is lost. Hypothermia is an extreme case, is a reduction of body's core temperature below its normal. This is again the failure of the body's thermoregulation system to maintain the body temperature due to cold. 3 degrees of hypothermia, which are classified by the degree of severity, includes mild, moderate, and severe. Mild hypothermia, body temperature is between 89.6 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, characterized by violent shivering followed by the virtual cessation of effective muscular activity, disorientation, and disinterest in the surrounding. The violent shivering is the body's first reaction to try and generate heat by muscular action inside the body. When that fails, you get into hypothermia. Hypothermia moderate is when your body temperature is between 78.8 degrees Fahrenheit and 89.59 degrees Fahrenheit. At this temperature, cardiac irregularities start occurring at approximately 86 degrees Fahrenheit, and corneal reflexes become absent below 82.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Severe hypothermia is when the body core temperature falls below 78.79 degrees Fahrenheit. At this point of time, the heart goes into fibrillation, and there's a huge risk of death below 80.6 Fahrenheit. At this temperature, the affected person may appear clinically dead, and some specialist medical attention is required to revive the person. Frostbite. Exposure to environmental temperatures below freezing. Formation of ice crystals due to extreme cold temperature. The speed of onset, depth, and severity of injury depends on temperature, wind chill, and the duration of exposure. Frozen tissue appears a dead white and is hard or even brittle. Frostbite, first degree frostbite, mild itching and some swelling. There is no blistering or peeling of the skin. Second degree frostbite characterized by blistering and desquamation, that is the shedding of the outer layer of the skin. Frostbite, third degree frostbite, necrosis, deadening of the skin and subcutaneous tissue with ulceration. The skin becomes dead and there is a lot of ulceration below the skin. Fourth degree frostbite is the destruction of the connective tissues and bones accompanied by gangrene. Gangrene usually follows total cell death when the human tissue dies. It starts decaying, and that is gangrene. Wind chill is something we have to understand when we are looking at cold stress. At any temperature, you feel colder as the wind speed increases. The combined effect of cold air and wind speed is expressed as equivalent chill temperature or simply wind chill. Let's look at some. Wind chill is defined as the number of calories lost for 1 hour from a square meter of a surface kept at 91.4 degree Fahrenheit. Wind chill factor is the lowering of body temperature due to the passing flow of lower temperature air over the body. There are some charts which are available based on scientific experiments. For example, if the temperature is 15 degree Fahrenheit and there's a wind of 50 mph, the wind chill temperature is minus 10 degree Fahrenheit. So it actually virtually feels like it is minus 10 degree Fahrenheit instead of 15 degree Fahrenheit. Another example, if the temperature is minus 10 degree Fahrenheit and there's a 30 mph wind, it feels like minus 39 degree Fahrenheit. So this should be kept in consideration when analyzing the risk of cold stress. What are the control measures? Workplace design for preventing cold stress. Nutrition is extremely important. A high calorie intake of 3,500 calories or more is required. Fluid replacement. Dehydration can be severe due to cold, and fluid replacement is very important. Job rotation to reduce the cold stress, and of course personal clothing, PPEs for preventing the cold stress is also important. We hope you enjoyed this short video lesson on exposure to extreme temperatures. Your feedback and comments on the lesson are deeply appreciated. Thank you.